In this episode of ICS Connects, I'm talking to Jason Yee, and we're going to talk about the general situation in Taiwan, but also what it is like to organize the ICCA Congress in Kaohsiung later on this year. ICCA might be the first major industry events to return to a normal hybrid or face-to-face environment. So listen in and let's explore the future of exchange. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ICS Connects. I'm here today with Jason Yee, who is the CEO of GIS Group in Taiwan and also the second vice president of ICCA. Welcome to this interview and this conversation, Jason.
Nice to meeting you, Mathias, and greeting to everyone who look at this video. Yeah.
Jason, you are in Taiwan, and when you listen to the news worldwide, Taiwan has been one of those countries that everybody looks up to and says, like, Taiwan has done a fantastic job in getting a hold and getting control over COVID-19 early on. Why do you think that is, and what is the situation in Taiwan right now?
We are very cautious about what is going on in China. So when this this pandemic happened, we keep, I think our government keep a high level of alert or awareness about the situation going on. So at the very beginning, they decided to do a lot of things because they stopped the the flight from China, and we especially look at those passengers who came back from China. So this is one of the reasons we take action in a very, very early stage. There's one thing, and the other thing is, for example, at the very beginning, there are many experts say the mask won't help anything to preventing you get infected by the virus, but it proved it works. So, but all the manufacturer, most of it, I would say 95% of manufacturer already moved to China from Taiwan, back to, I would say, probably 20 years ago. So, but in a very short period of time, I think probably within 1 month or 2 months, we set up our own assembly line to produce the mask and to, to supply our domestic market, and at a later stage, we can, export them to somewhere to help the other country or destination for the mask. So this is something we did, and I think we think this preventing or cope with this pandemic situation. I think our government also use a lot of technology, but there's some arguments on that because we sacrifice some part of our privacy. But however, people feel in this critical moment, I think not so many people complain about it, but privacy is still a very, is an issue in our society. I think people very care about our privacy, but however, in this situation, most of the people can tolerate to explore, share our privacy with our public sector. However, we control it very good. So I would like to say the normal life today in Taiwan is back to, like, I would say 95%. Only thing, the hotels and the business events suffering is still we don't have so many, business or meeting attendee to come to Taiwan at this moment. We hope this kind of situation can be eased in the later stage. We hope someday, like probably in July or August. It really depends on the global control of the pandemic. So this is the situation. So we don't have even a single day for the lockdown of the whole city. So everything is operate. School is opening, office is opening. Although during some period of time, there are some office they try to apply some, working from home, or we separate our team into different offices, for example. But now I think everybody back to normal to the work from in the office. Although it's a good way to work from home, but yeah, however, it's not happening in Taiwan at this moment.
So you say you haven't had one single day of actual lockdown, and
Yeah,
despite that, right now your cases are around 40 active cases right now.
440,
440
at this moment. Yeah,
active cases or total cases?
total cases.
Total
It's
cases.
confirmed cases. Total cases from I think from the last December until today is something like only 446.
Wow.
And yeah, and they're most of them they are recovered from the infections, and we do have 7 days. 7 people die for the coronavirus, but it's only like 0.16% of the total.
Small.
Yeah. So it's very few people die for the coronavirus in Taiwan.
So what is the situation right now in terms of borders? So lots of countries have travel bubbles where they allow travel between various countries. Do you have any countries that you're open to right now? Do you allow any kind of like travelers from any countries right now?
No, not at this moment. But I believe our government tried very hard to talk to the country like New Zealand or Australia or Japan. Those countries more like an island. It's more easy to control in some way. But like the big continent like China, India, or Europe is more difficult at this moment. So I think they still try to find a way out. How can we, open our border again? I think we do very good when we shut down the border, but I think it's another big challenge for we to open the border again, because I don't think in our community, I don't think we were impact the second wave of the pandemic. There will be a disaster for us, so we are very careful about this.
I understand. Let's talk about you and your business for a second. You are extremely diversified, your company. So you're a PCO, you have an AV arm to your company. I know you even have a couple restaurants personally, right? So there's one, okay. So you're very diversified. So what was the impact on GIS Group overall?
How do you know my company so well?
You told me before.
Will you buy me out someday?
So, according to that, how well are you doing? let me ask you first, and then I'll tell you if I have the money to do that. I don't know about that.
Yeah. You have enough money. We are not that expensive.
Good.
Okay, actually, so our domestic market, for example, the domestic market, it bounced back. For example, we run some small, we have 7 small conference centers in town, not in town, in different cities, like in Taipei, Taichung, in Kaohsiung, in different cities. And because we are, because the scale, the size of the conference center is very small, so we only focus on the domestic market. Okay, so I would say at this moment the business coming back around 70 to 80%. If you compare, before the pandemic, and the business of a catering or restaurant also coming back slowly. But however, if you international congress and convention, we still, most of our event, the PCO business, they postpone from the first quarter or second quarter of this year and postpone to the third quarter and the fourth quarter. But most of the client, they move to the next year.
Yeah,
and exactly. I don't see we're back to normal until probably the end of the next year. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah. I can see that. How do you feel? So that's actually very interesting. So you already host quite a few national meetings again. How do you feel customer confidence is right now? Do do delegates feel comfortable going to meetings again? Do you see a drop in delegates, or do you think people are quite happy to go to meetings within some kind of like regulations that you probably have to host meetings right now?
My feeling is that people still want to go to a meeting, but however, with this kind of restriction of the travel, I think they and also I think a lot of industry been impact or hurt from the economy perspective, so they probably cut down the budget, and as far as I know, the travel become more expensive nowadays. For example, if you want to take a flight from Taipei to Los Angeles, it's 3 times more. So it's go higher because the flight have been cut a lot, and only a few flights a week at this moment from Taipei to Los Angeles. Yeah, so the price going very high. So my feeling, I don't know when the situation will back to normal or back to the, I don't know how to define normal, but now, yeah. So
no.
yeah.
No, I really thought kind of like around those national meetings that are already hosted. I think is a really it's a really good sign to see, you say 70 to 80% of the business on the national level back. So that's a really nice thing for us to look at. Speaking about conferences, so not too long from now, actually in November, you will be hosting ICCA in Taiwan. So it's an exciting time, but lots has changed since you won ICCA to come to Taiwan, and now you have to plan a completely different event, I'm sure. So tell me, what has changed in the planning of an event like ICCA?
Okay, the ICCA Congress 2020 in Kaohsiung, it will be definitely become a hybrid event, which means we have a face-to-face event, then we are going to organize an online event. And because of the time zone, so probably our European member or the American member, North American member, they only can share part of it if they cannot come to Kaohsiung physically. So this going, and we are going to change the format totally. In traditionally in ICCA event, we have general assembly, we have outside the box, and then we have a Copenhagen lecture and different stuff. But I think the format will be changed totally. So it will be a brand new format for ICCA. The other thing is, I think most of our board member and members think is very important moment for our industry. I think for the meeting industry to have some voices or advocacy to that no matter private sector or the public sector to put their focus on the businessmen, what kind of contribution we can bring into the city, and what is the important contribution we did for the economy of each destination. So we are going to have a so-called Kaohsiung protocol or Kaohsiung, how to say, announcement or manifesto, something like that, to advocate the importance of the business event. And secondly, I would say, the lesson we learned from this pandemic is the sustainability. I think we should precious our environment, our planet more, and to take care of our environment. So we have to protect our environment in the future. So I think this is one thing we want to put in the theme of the event. And since the travel will be very, very, I think the travel, can you imagine if the ICCA become the first event you attend after the pandemic? So I don't know.
It might very well be. Jason, it might be, because now that IMEX America has been canceled, chances are very high that ICCA is the first conference or the first event that many of the international meetings industry people will attend on an international level. So yeah, I think
So
you
in
have a
order
big
to think,
opportunity here. Yeah.
so in order to think, everybody try their best to come to Taiwan, to Kaohsiung physically.
Yeah.
I have a dream to say, if you, Matthias, if you tell me one thing you want to do when you are visiting Taiwan, I would do my best to make your dream come true. That's my reward to your personal trip to Taiwan, to Kaohsiung, and I would do it for every single delegates. Okay.
Let's see how many delegates you get. You're going to be busy for a long time.
and probably you told me, please send me a private jet, pick me up from Singapore to Taiwan.
Funny. You know what I want to do. I think you know. You're aware.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can
Good.
make a guess, but you still can tell me, and
Good.
I will make you a drink too.
Excellent.
And I'll make it to every individual who come to Taiwan, every people,
That
every
is
person.
personal service, and I'm sorry you're recorded on this one, so people will take you
So
up
it become
on your
promise.
offer. Exactly. This just became a promise. Perfect. Jason, I love what you just said, because what I think is it's important to not just look at how we technically involved like the ICCA Congress to be a hybrid conference, but you also change some of the topics, because I think people's minds will be somewhere else than they would be without COVID happening in between. So if this is the first event that's happening after all of this has been gone on, people will be eager to exchange on certain topics, and I think that's very important that you address them, and I'm so happy to hear that you do. The other question, however, is kind of like ICCA lives for me personally from engagement with other members, so from the networking, from being able to meet and exchange in a highly kind of regulated environment that we probably will be in terms of kind of like how we are allowed to meet. How are you going to facilitate some of the engagement that ICCA usually have? Will you have a traditional kind of like social events? Will you have the usual kind of business exchange forums, or will you do something a little bit different to allow for the social distancing, for all of those things that we need to?
I think the networking and the social event will be much more the same. Probably we have less people to join, but it's more easy for people to network with each other. But I promise you, I will bring you the best food we can offer, the best food we produce in Taiwan, and the cuisine you never try in your lifetime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to do, and of course that we are going to show you different part of the Kaohsiung city itself, but also I hope I can do some program. You can enjoy the hiking in Taiwan. We also have a lot of high mountains. We also very good of many Austrian came to Taiwan to do the hiking. So you can compare the Taiwan hiking with the Alps hiking. And there's another crazy program I want to do is, to drifting on the current, and you can do it within 2 days from Taiwan to Japan.
Oh,
amazing. A small island close to Taiwan. Actually, it's controlled by Japan.
Okay.
Japanese territory. I don't know how to say it in English, but there are some residents live there. I think probably is only 100 kilometer away from Taiwan.
Wow.
But you can do it, drifting on the small, how to say, not a boat. It's like more like a, it's a panel or something, and you don't do anything. The current will take you to the island within 2 days.
Sounds like an adventure. I'm not sure about that. I'll pick you up on the hiking, as you know, but not on this. Is there any way you're gonna involve the international audience? Like, have you thought about that? If you are a hybrid meeting, are you in kind of like trying to give any kind of like experience to the international audience about what Taipei is about? Is there any lectures, anything? How are you going to do this? I mean, like, I'm asking you not just for people to learn more about ICCA, but these ideas are important for us as we go into a hybrid event environment. We all face the issue that we would love to be with everybody, but we can't be with everybody. So how can we engage them as much as possible? Have you thought about that? Is there technology that you're engaging, or anything yet on that?
Actually, there is still some discussion going on to talk to with the ICCA event team, how we make the conference very different. So you raised a very important question: how can we engage those international participants who cannot come here, in person, physically? So I'm thinking we need to change the mindset when we organize real conference, physical conference and meetings into TV program mindset. So that's what I'm going to think. We are going to make the program is more like a TV program. And of course, there are also some interaction element with that. So yeah, but I cannot tell you at this moment what it will be like, but it's kind of direction we are going to.
Very good. Very good. Let's go back to quickly on my last question. What do you think will be, or do you think there will be a difference in how the industry will look in East Asia after COVID-19? Do you feel like, because it looks like East Asia right now, I look at China, I look at Korea, at Taiwan, things are bouncing back fairly quickly. I see these pictures of trade shows happening. You told me about the national meetings. It seems things bounce back to normal fairly quickly. Do you think that's going to be the story in East Asia? East Asia will recover and back to normal, or do you think there will be a change in the industry that we will see over time?
I cannot tell you. See, I'm not a musician, or someone can tell you what's going to happen in the future. But I'm always very optimistic about the future, because we cannot be pessimistic for the future. So I will see everything will be move on, but probably the way we organize meeting or event will be very different compared with in the past, and people probably have more different expectation of when they're attending the event. But I believe there's some factor they never can be replaced online. For example, you cannot enjoy the local authentic food online. For example, you cannot know the city online, although you can see a lot of video, or some YouTuber, they produce a lot of YouTube to introduce a destination, but it's very, very different when you are really in the city, and you have your personal feeling about the city. So I think the networking and the social or the authentic feeling is still probably will be play a more important role in the coming future. And for those knowledge exchange, I think we can do it physically, and we also can do it online in the future. So I think it will change the way how we manage the conference in the coming future. For the organizer, I think they probably can generate another revenue by the online program. For those people who cannot afford, or who don't have time to fly all the way to attend a meeting or congress in the coming future.
I think that's a very good way to end the conversation. I think we learned a lot from you, and I think everybody looks forward to hopefully coming to Taiwan soon, seeing things in person, and taking you up on your offer to create unique experiences for all of us.
So remember to write me an email. If you write me an email, I will deliver my commitment.
Wonderful. I think you can't wait for that. Thank you so much, Jason. This was a great conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Mathias, for your invitation. You have become a very famous TV program host.
We'll
Yeah.
see about that. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.